Welcome back, everyone. It's here. And today I've got some r/BestOf for you all. As per usual, I'll be reading you the posts, giving you my opinions, and I hope you do the same down in the comments below. And without further ado, let's jump right into it. This post was collected by Choice Evidence 1983, and their tagline is, "It dawned on me that he was a wizard." The original OP is Low Afternoon 9686, posted to r/AmITheAsshole October 28th, 2025. Am I the asshole for refusing to take down my post and letting my ex face the consequences of her cheating? I was with my ex K for 2 years and living together since a year. To make all the drama short, I found out she was having an affair since 6 months with her boss. I found out about it and broke up with her on the spot. K didn't even try to justify or deny and just moved out. But here comes the main thing on all this mess. Honestly, I wasn't expecting that she would bring our breakup on IG, but she did, with the classic BS of me holding her back. A brightening future was waiting for her, and all this type of stuff. But here comes my part, because the one thing that made me mad as hell is one of her posts when she said that I was abusing her emotionally and physically. I have a special spot on this because I volunteer in one of those abused women's centers, and I provide housing for real victims of abuse. It's a long story about a female friend of mine who died because of her ex, and that thing particularly touched me, and it was the main reason why I'm volunteering. So, you can imagine the rage and anger I felt when she posted about this fake BS, so I simply made a post on my IG page with the proofs of her cheating and tagged her directly. Well, the part I wasn't expecting comes now because to me, for no reason, it's like Instagram decided to make my post go viral in our community, and the internet rage started under her posts. I was expecting maybe someone calling her out and nothing more, but the consequences hit her harder than I could expect, because in just 2 weeks, her profile is full of people calling her every possible name in the book. People wishing her the worst stuff and all those things. But K, being K, instead of doing what normal people would do, doubled down and got even more hate and worse stuff than I thought was possible. But the cherry on top was the fact that she's now on administrative leave because apparently her boss tried to throw her under the bus to save his job, and mostly because her jobs page became flooded with not so kind comments about her, from the classic "fire her" to stuff I can't say here. And the most insane thing happened 3 days ago because her car has been smashed by someone. Not me, obviously, because I have better stuff to do than worrying about a cheating ex, and even her own family started to get harassed by people and on their socials. And yesterday, she wrote me from a new number asking me to delete my post because she couldn't keep up anymore by people insulting her on every post she makes, and the job thing was the last straw. Honestly, I wasn't expecting all this mess, and of course some people crossed a line with her car, her family, and her job, but you know what? I don't feel bad for her at all. I mean, she knew about my spot for abused women, and tried to paint me as a villain by accusing me of stuff she knew exactly how I feel about. So maybe it's because it's all still fresh, but I don't feel bad for her and have no intention to take down my post, which actually gained me 50k followers out of nowhere. So, am I the asshole for refusing to take my post down and letting her face the consequences of her cheating? Am I the asshole with an H has no consensus bot. OP received the majority of not the assholes and a few you're the assholes. Top comments. Commenter 1. Ask her to post a retraction and apology to you on her social media. She made false statements that would threaten your job and reputation, so until you get at least that, fuck her. She made her bed and she can lie in it. Commenter 2. Tell her you'll consider taking it down if she issues a full apology and retraction to social media. Commenter 3. You don't owe her anything. If you want to be nice, take it down, but not if she's just going to lie about you again. She can certainly just delete her social media and not deal with any of this anymore. That's probably the best idea for her now. If you want to work with her, I would say you can take your post down since it's already done its job, but she needs to make a post admitting that she lied about you. It's not going to tarnish your rep. She has to be the one to clear it before you can take your post down. Not the asshole. Update, November 2nd, 2025. 5 days later. Here's the update on how things ended up, and I really hope to post again about more funny and better stuff than all this drama. In the last post, I talked about my ex getting me to delete the post and end all this charade. And at the end, we come to an agreement. The The agreement is extremely simple. She makes a public post on her IG page in which she honestly tells the truth about how our relationship ended and takes full accountability for her false allegations, and then, and only then, I take down my post. 3 days ago, she agreed, and she did. Actually, under that post, she got more hate than before, but that's not my problem. And I did the same. About all this mess, I have to say that in the last 2 days after her apology post, like I call it, the situation have calmed down pretty naturally, but she still receives hate and death threats. On this part, I have to say that before deleting my post, I made it clear that insulting my ex and wishing her death wasn't normal, so to please stop all this charade and respect her apologies. So until now, her profile passed from 2K comments to almost 500, and like I said, almost all not exactly kind. But the situation is going better, and I think because people got tired of this drama and simply moved on to another one. In the last post, someone talked about a lawsuit for defamation, and you're absolutely right, but I just didn't have any intention and energy for something I just wanted to make disappear faster than I could. And for the last point, someone asked me if I resented her for all of this mess, but actually, I don't. What I feel for her is just pity and disappointment. The internet rage did the rest, even if I don't approve, obviously, for the death threats and all the extreme parts. So, that's it, and I really hope to not update you any more on all this mess. Relevant comments. Commenter 1. Sounds like she didn't have shame to begin with, so all's well that ends well. OP responds, Exactly! I would have never imagined all this mess, but here we are, and all this because of her victim complex, like I told her. Commenter 2. Let this be a lesson. There are a lot of people, usually conservative, who tout fuck around and find out and say stuff in subs where people get KO'd for picking a fight, like, they'll never do that again. People don't learn their lesson like that. She thinks she is the victim. You need to sue her. No, you don't. You need the court to specifically name you as the victim. No. It isn't because she will ever learn. She won't. It's about your security and the justice you deserve. It's about making sure the next time she pulls some shit like this, and she will because they never learn from consequences, that there's a paper trail to help her next victim get justice. OP responds, You're right about the fact that she didn't learn anything and probably would never, but it's just the legal aspect that I don't think it's necessary. Not because of money problems. I mean, she did what she did. She got what she deserved, and that's it. I just want to move on with my life, even if it's harder than I thought. Commenter 3. Does anyone else think that the ex-girlfriend is a huge moron because she could have just stayed quiet and avoided all this? She went and tried to defame an ex-boyfriend for no reason, really. OP responds, You got my point. I still don't get why all of this since we broke up and everyone goes for his way. But she had to make all public and be the victim for some reasons. I promise you I read that exactly as it's written. I, for the life of me, could not figure out what the original wording was meant to be. Judging by OP's grammar structure, I get the feeling they're not a native English speaker, and that this might be their second or even third language. Commenter 4. Sounds like she's all about image and social media. OP responds, It appears so, and now she has to face what the internet thinks of her. It's pretty rare that I'll recommend that a Redditor take legal action because the legal system is fucking exhausting, no matter how you're gonna look at it, especially with something like defamation. And speaking from experience here, that's a road that you only want to go down if it's an absolute must. Not to mention, in OP's case, he would have to prove damages, which it doesn't sound like he had any damages to prove. That's kind of the whole point of defamation, is you're getting compensated for the damages of someone else's lies. And there really isn't a lot that OP can actually sue over in this instance, because there weren't any consequences directly related from his ex-girlfriend's post. So, at that point, you're pretty much just suing for, what, emotional distress? Emotional damages? And that's going to be a pain in the ass. You're probably looking at potentially a year or two in court just to get through that. A lot of Redditors seem to just think that you can just simply file a lawsuit and maybe within a week or two you'll have your judgment and be on your merry way. Oh, no. You're dedicating yourself to a year or so commitment. At minimum. 6 months if you're super fucking lucky, but something like this is going to go on for a long goddamn time. Not even mentioning the financial obligations that'll be attached to it. And if OP doesn't win, congratulations. You just burned anywhere from $20,000 to $100,000 if you're lucky. On a defamation case that went nowhere. For what? Also, mob rule on the internet gets really difficult, and I'm also speaking from experience here. I think that anyone who commits violence in an action of retribution for another is just gross. Don't do that. It's always good to keep things factual and from a place of actual interest and, common sense of decency, than allowing your emotions to get the best of you and start throwing baseless accusations or comments or insults that do nothing to the argument except for potentially create the opportunity for the offending party to be pitied or get a pass because of how mean the internet's being towards them. Because in the end, OP's ex-girlfriend accused them of some pretty heinous stuff. OP responded with the truth, and what happened next was the consequences of lying on the internet for something so egregious. Because now we're in the position here of, so OP shouldn't have defended himself? He should have just allowed those baseless accusations to be thrown his way and potentially received the ire of that? If you're gonna talk shit on the internet, you gotta be ready for what the floodgates are gonna bring your way. That's just how it works here. This post was collected by Direct Caterpillar 77, and their tagline is, of course, Satan is not a pogo stick. The original OP is actually 2 accounts, Serenity Flower and Throw RA Deep Op. Originally posted at r/relationship advice October 7th, 2020. I, female 26, got a message saying my husband, male 28, is cheating on me. The message was from his ex-girlfriend's best friend. So, a bit of background. He and I have been together 6 years. We have a pretty solid relationship, never get into arguments with each other. He's very open and will openly express how he's feeling or what he's thinking, and we're always on the same page of things. Before we got together, husband lived across the country about 4 states away. We met because of a work course, and we hit it off right away. So, kept in touch for the next year via text until he decided he wanted to be with me. So he transferred his job over to the city I lived in. We've been together ever since, and things have been dandy. A year before we dated, husband dated this chick Charlene for about 2 years until she left him. I knew about her, but have never met her, or even given her a thought, until a few months into our relationship, when husband received a text from her. Charlene texted him to say she thinks I hacked into her social media profiles. He asked her why this was, and she didn't give much of a reason other than to say she's been hacked. So, I handed over my devices to husband to show him I definitely did not hack into any of her profiles. I don't even know how to do that. So, he texted her, saying sorry, but it wasn't me, and he didn't know who it was, and that was that. Then, a few days later, husband started getting weird texts and calls from people he didn't know, saying odd, vulgar things. We didn't know why till his friend told him Charlene posted a status with his phone number saying, "This person has hacked into my profiles and is stalking me." Husband doesn't have her on social media, so he had no idea. Nothing really came of it. He managed to block the numbers, and thankfully the harassment didn't last. Flash forward 5 years to now, and we haven't heard from or about Charlene at all, and promptly forgot about it. Husband's sister just had a baby, in the town husband originally came from, where Charlene lives, and since he hasn't been there in like 6 years, we decided to go down to see his family. We go down, and everything is cool. He reaches out to some of his old pals to say hey, and we meet a few of them. Over the next few days, I get random friend requests from girls I don't know. 2 girls, who are from this small town. It shows husband isn't a mutual friend with any of them, and I ask him who these girls are. And he says he doesn't really know, but one seems familiar, and he might have gone to school with one. I think it's weird, and just delete their requests. Then, the next night, I get a message request on Instagram. It's from a different girl I don't know that also lives in this town. She straight up tells me she knows my husband from childhood and he's been messaging her on Tinder. She sends me screenshots of my husband messaging her, saying he's around and wants to hook up or something. I immediately show my husband, of course, and right away, he drops what he's doing and hands me his phone unlocked. Tells me that isn't him, and he wants me to go through his phone so that I feel reassured. I go through everything. Messages, Instagram, social media, etc. I look at his apps. There's no Tinder. I go to his search bar. Still no Tinder. He opens his app store to show me it's not downloaded. He downloaded Tinder and entered his phone number into the login. From where I'm from, if you go to login and type in your number, it just sends you a code to log in with. And it didn't have his number registered. We look at the messages again, and he recognizes the girl as one of Charlene's best friends from college. Now, there are a few odd things with the Tinder screenshots that this chick sends me. It says my husband's account is verified with a little check mark. His profile picture on Tinder is a really old one from his brother's Facebook, like 3 or 4 years old. His brother is the only one still friends with Charlene on Facebook, and it's the only lone photo of husband on brother's profile. It's a photo husband actually hates because he's not smiling and he has his tongue out. But his brother keeps it up anyways to bug him despite husband asking him before to delete it to no avail. And the way husband talks in the Tinder screenshot is a bit different than how he usually texts to me in general. It's very expressive. Hey! ! How are you? ? Remember me? Smiley face with an extra mouth. And he usually doesn't type like that. But there's one thing that's just weird that makes me feel uneasy. The message exchanges on Tinder are throughout the day gradually, and not back and forth right away. It just happens that whenever husband replies, it was the only 2 times we weren't together during the day. Like this, husband at 2:30 p.m. Hey! ! How are you? ? Remember me? ? Girl, yeah, hey, what's up? Husband at 4:54. Not much, just visiting my sister. Smiley face. So at 2 o'clock, I had ran to the grocery store and was texting husband what I should grab for his sister's house. That's why I know the time. At 4-ish, we arrive at sister's, and after helping with supper, husband uses the bathroom. He's not in there long, but I send him a text with the poop emoji to be silly. That was at 4:53. So the fact that it's around the same times where I'm not around him is unnerving. Now, the screenshots show they talk for longer after, but I can't see those times the rest of the convos, and frankly, I don't want to message this girl and ask for more because it all seems sketchy. Anyways, husband has never really been on his phone in general this whole trip, so it's not like I see him sitting in the corner constantly texting. The people we met up with from his school the other day are close friends with Charlene, and girl who messaged me, so they could have easily told them we were there and we were visiting his sister. It's a bit of a weird coincidence that this girl who's friends with Charlene happens to reach out to me while we're in town for the first time in 6 years, specifically to visit his sister. We also just purchased a condo together 3 days before, so it doesn't make sense at all why husband would decide to cheat on me now. Not to mention, why would he decide to hook up with Charlene's friend? While I'm with him on this trip, LOL. Why would he use that super old photo from Facebook that Charlene has access to? Plus, he surrendered his phone immediately and showed me everything once I talked to him. The only thing that rattles my brain is the profile verification and the times the messages were sent. Update, messaged this girl saying, oh, that's weird because husband actually didn't have his phone on him the last few days since he dropped it. Her response was, oh, okay, welcome. Relevant comments, ruthless bunny. Have you ever thought your husband cheated? If not, he seems to be going out of his way to make you comfortable, which shows that he is honest. Ignore the whole situation. These girls are working overtime to mess with you. Keep an eye peeled when you get home, but I'll bet that it's a bunch of nothing. OP responds, no, the only thing that throws me off is the times on the messages. Charlene has cheated on him back then, and I know it's crushed him. Plus, he's gone out of his way to live with me 4 states away, not to mention plenty of other things. Definitely doesn't make sense that he would cheat. But of course, I don't want to be naive. No spouse wants to believe they're being cheated on. I'm the unicorn comments. I think his ex is a psycho trying to ruin his and your life. The verification is easy to fake. You just verify an account, then change the picture to whoever you want to fake. Single War 5 responds, actually you have to take to live selfies to verify. User I'm the unicorn responds, yes, but after that you can change your photos freely. You don't have to verify every time you change your photos. Update, October 11th, 2020, 4 days later. Just really quickly, my last post got capped because I didn't use a throwaway account. For some reason, I thought it didn't matter if I used a throwaway or not, as I didn't care if anyone tracked me, but Reddit capped it, so I thought I could use a throw RA account to update it. From what I can tell, this should be allowed, so I guess we'll find out. So it's not too big of an update, but it's enough to definitely confirm my husband is totally innocent and bitches be crazy. So a few days have gone by since that woman messaged me, and I was telling my sister-in-law about the whole thing as we were visiting them last night, and I showed her the messages from that crazy chick. Now, in my original, I mentioned how I've been getting follow requests on Instagram from girls I didn't know in that town and just proceeded to ignore them. This is true, but I realized I got a detail mixed up. The woman who messaged me to say my husband was cheating had messaged me through Facebook, not Instagram. My bad. Yeah, they're both owned by the same corporation. So anyways, I show my sister-in-law the Facebook message from that girl, and she asks who she is. Husband said she didn't recognize her name at all, but her face seems familiar, so he thinks it must be Charlene's bestie from college. He had only briefly met her once right before the split. Sister-in-law mentions how strange it is that the name is so generic and how there's absolutely nothing on her Facebook profile. The name on the Facebook was something like Sarah Smith, the most generic name out there. Brother-in-law goes to Charlene's Facebook and searches to see they, Sarah and Charlene, aren't friends on Facebook. We dig through this Sarah chick some more to see there are no friends, no cover photo, no statuses/birthday, nothing. And it says the Facebook profile was created the day she messaged me. We think it's definitely Charlene behind that account. She specifically made it to reach out and message me. I just never thought to view her profile at all. Someone in the Reddit comments before had mentioned to me maybe those girls on Instagram trying to add me might be fake accounts made by Charlene or her friends. I thought there's no way she would go that far and just thought nothing of it. But maybe they were right, because it was about an hour after I denied the Instagram follow that Sarah Smith messaged me on Facebook. So bitches do be crazy after all. I didn't think Charlene would ever take anything that far. Faking Tinder messages, okay. But also faking a Facebook profile? Y'all were right. I apologized to husband for even feeling the slightest doubt for a second, and he said it was completely fine. He understands completely and doesn't blame me. And if I ever feel uncomfortable about anything, I'm free to ask for his phone or talk to him. But seeing as in the amount of years we've been together, I never needed to go through his phone, I don't think I'll need to start now. Now, it's a good story for us to laugh at, and jokes on Charlene, because this just ended up making us closer than before. Too long didn't read, husband is definitely innocent, and ex-girlfriends can be crazy. Who would have thought? Oh wow, the concept of an ex making a bunch of alt accounts to harass you and people you know to make them suffer? What a crazy concept, god damn. Surely no one here has any experience with that, right? Also, I just realized that this is 2 days in a row we had a story where husband/boyfriend was on Tinder but wasn't really on Tinder, and it was someone else trying to frame them for cheating or potentially even use the Tinder account for nefarious purposes? Huh. This post was collected by Glomcraft4652. The original OP is Throw It Away, 562323, posted to r/relationships February 24th, 2015. I, male 21, caught my girlfriend, female 22, in a lie that would have gotten my little sister, female 11, in big trouble. To get to the point, my little sister lives with me since about 4 months ago because my mom's house is not a good place for children. Long story short, for another subreddit. So, my sister has been good so far. Way better grades in school. She's happier and has a new interest in sports and normal kid things. So, we're kind of a happy bunch, except for one thing. My girlfriend is not thrilled that my little sister lives with us. It has made her extremely resentful towards my mom for being such a whatever she is, and my mom deserves it. But I spoke to my girlfriend about not letting my sister know how she feels so she doesn't feel unwanted. But this has not been the case, I found out. My sister has chores that she has to do, and she has additional chores that she does that earn her money for extra things, like going to movies or for yogurt with her friends. Nothing big, no child labor laws are being violated or anything. But from the beginning, my sister has missed on doing some of her basic chores, cleaning her room, her bathroom, making her bed, vacuuming, and some kitchen stuff. My girlfriend was constantly doing it to pick up the slack and letting me know about it. I kept my sister home from something she wanted to do with her friends and was even more mad that she would lie and deny she didn't clean her bathroom, for example. I came home several times to find my sister outside playing with friends only to walk inside and find my girlfriend making her bed or cleaning her bathroom. My sister flat out started accusing my girlfriend of lying, but not to her face, just privately to me. Then, on Saturday, I came home after grocery shopping. I asked my sister to put away all the groceries in their right place. I had to run back to the store. I went in the backyard to grab some tools out of my shed that I needed to return to my friend on the way to the store. While I was on the phone with my girlfriend from my backyard, I could see my sister put away all the groceries. Then she got picked up by her friend's mom for a birthday party. I was in the backyard longer than expected and saw my girlfriend walk in the kitchen after my sister left and literally pulled out all of the groceries from the fridge, cupboards, and everywhere else and stuff it back in the bags. I wasn't sure what was going on. I was so in denial, I guess, that I didn't immediately figure it out. I actually went out the side gate and drove to my friend's. I was at his house, and my girlfriend calls me and tells me that my sister left to the birthday party and left all the groceries out everywhere in the kitchen. I don't know why, but I was so distracted that day that I didn't figure it all out until I got the call. I have no excuse for that, other than I had a lot on my mind last week. I briefly told my friend, male 50s, about this. He was like, "You have to break up with this girl," mad. I really am in love with my girlfriend, but this is kind of big because it makes my sister's past claims suddenly seem true. To conclude here, I came home and my girlfriend was putting all the groceries away that my sister had purposely neglected to do. I was so shocked that I watched her finish the chore without saying a word as she went off about me not being able to parent properly and implied my sister needs a different place to stay. I confronted her after she was done, but I can't even remember the reasons she gave me. I was dizzy from just pure disbelief. I know that groceries is not that big a deal, but my head was just spinning as my girlfriend cried and told me she was just trying to prove her otherwise valid point. I asked her to leave for a few days, but now I'm feeling guilty and confused what the right thing to do is. She has been calling me, and I don't want to drag this one forever without a decision for everybody's sake, but I have zero idea what to do. Edit, my girlfriend has lived with me for almost a year. Edit, after typing this and reading it over, it hit me way harder how insane this is. I just needed to put pen to paper and it decluttered me somehow. I'm more relaxed and see it more clearly. I know exactly what I have to do, and I want to do. Thanks for all the comments. I didn't mean to sound so clueless. Too long didn't read. My girlfriend tried to frame my little sister into getting in trouble with me for not doing chores. Top/relevant comments. Eshtiv353 comments. Question, does your girlfriend live with you? If she does, can you make that clearer in your post? So I'm going to write this assuming that she does live with you because that is what it sounds like. How did your sister come to live with you? Was she forced onto you guys? Did you offer to take your sister in? Did you ever discuss any of this with your girlfriend? Your girlfriend may be feeling resentful because she feels like she had no say if your sister was going to live with you guys. This in turn has caused her to lash out in ways to try to get rid of your sister. I'm not trying to defend your girlfriend because I don't think what she did was right, but taking your post at face value, you took in another house member without even discussing it with your girlfriend. I'm sorry, I know they say they're not doing this, but it does sound like you're trying to justify why the girlfriend is framing an 11-year-old. The only way to move forward is to actually talk to your girlfriend. Maybe she has other concerns about your sister living with you guys. Can you guys afford having a dependent? These are all things that you guys need to talk about. You also need to confront her for the lying. She may not enjoy having your sister around, but that gives her no right to try and frame your sister for not doing her chores. Opie responds, okay, yeah, she lives with me. I'll change this on the post. Little background. My mom is a meth addict. My dad died 6 years ago. My mom has turned her house into a party house. I enlisted, but got hurt and discharged 7 months in. I came home to find my sister living in a very bad place, and she was completely miserable. She asked to go live with me. I bribed my mom into letting me have legal custody of my sister, which was not cheap or as simple as I thought it would be. But that's done, and undoing that is not an option. My girlfriend does not work, and yes, I can't afford to support both of them. User, I always need lip chap comments. You probably shouldn't live with anyone while raising your sister considering you're so young yourself. Your age makes for an already awkward, difficult time, and adding another person into that mix that you're not in a long-term relationship or marriage with is a bad idea. You didn't mention the length of your relationship, but I'm assuming you haven't been together that long. OP responds, we were together just barely over a year, but I completely agree with you. I will not get a girlfriend again, maybe just casual dating, but I can't bring another person home ever again till my sister is gone in college, hopefully. User It's Loloid comments, that's a reference for you all. She's trying to make you choose her over your sister. She's nuts, and you are far too young to settle for someone so backwards. She has issues. OP responds, "This is almost word for word what my friend said." User Plaid Hawk comments, "Your girlfriend is gaslighting you and your sister. She's jealous and attacking an 11-year-old. Kick her to the curb." User This Is Peppermint comments, 1. Dump girlfriend. 2. Take parenting class. 3. Congratulate yourself on being a wonderful brother. And 4. Take your sister out for ice cream and tell her you love her. Real quick before the update, just the audacity of while you are literally undoing what the 11-year-old did and putting them away in a performative manner, telling your boyfriend that see, she just doesn't listen and you're just not a good enough parent to properly manage her. We should seek out a different place for her to be. Is fucking wild and actually evil. Final update, 3 days later. I'll begin with the easy part. A quick update. I drove to my ex's parents' house on Tuesday and took her the rest of her stuff. It started out bumpy because her dad met me on the driveway and argued with me about what he sees as my sister being a spoiled brat and turning me against his daughter. As soon as I started losing it and raising my voice, my ex ran out and sent him inside the house. I told her we're over and I'm moving on. She made some empty threats, but I just told her to do what she has to do and walked away. That night, I took the suggestion repeated here to take my sister for ice cream and apologize. She chose Frugo's instead, as usual. So we went there and I explained how I was sorry and that I will be better. I told her that I totally believed her. She was happy to hear everything I had to say. It makes a huge difference to a child when you give a sincere apology. I could tell. She even texted a couple of her friends to gloat that my ex was gone. And, okay, now the hard part. On Wednesday, I took her to the park to kick the soccer ball around and to have an overdue talk with her. I asked her about my ex, and she told me that she was mistreated by her more than I knew about. She had a lot to say about her time at Mom's house during the time when I was away. I didn't know how hard it was for her when I enlisted and left. That was hard to hear. It was kind of a move to get myself out of a situation with zero thought to leaving her behind. The short version is that we have all failed her badly. She didn't say it, but just everything she has to say about how things have gone down around her made it clear. When I was first discharged, I got a good job working for the city, but I was drinking every weekend and my house was the hangout spot for my friends, and that's how I met my ex. I was even drinking on a lot of weeknights. I didn't immediately take my sister with me, even though I knew about how my mom was living. My wake-up call was when my sister called me because the cops were there looking for Mom to question her, and her boyfriend. That was when I finally cleaned up, rented a house close to my sister's school, and brought her to live with me. She doesn't remember that I waited so long to bring her with me. She remembers it as if I acted quickly, which is totally false and makes me look way better than I was. It was really shocking and brutal to hear things from her perspective. She has been through more than I can have imagined. She's a very strong person. So definitely no more girlfriends for me for a long time. That was an emotionally expensive lesson to learn with everything that my sister had to go through while I was being blind and dumb. I'm going to wait and literally become a monk until she's in college. She gets so many straight A's with some B's here and there. She has a bright future. Edit, I'm sure I'll date someday again. Right now, I'm not ready. Not even close. I might be a few months away from changing my mind, but a couple of years is more likely. Too long didn't read. My girlfriend was mean and awful to my sister. I broke up with her. She's gone forever. My sister and I are closer, and I'll be better. Note from Glumcraft. Added extra comments from OP as they provide more details missing from the update post. User Kathleen comments, hugs. See about getting a good counselor for your sister to help her vent about your mom. She's going to internalize that as abandonment, and it can really mess up a person once they hit adolescence. You want to avoid that. As a formerly single mom, dating is fine as long as you're smart about it. Make certain your sister has activities, band, swimming, Girl Scouts, etc. Those are your date nights. She has a sleepover at a friend's house. Encourage them. You have one at your house with your girlfriend. Don't introduce anyone until you've been dating them for over 6 months and it's getting serious, as in really serious. I can see myself getting married and having kids. Serious. Summer camps are great for opening up weeks at a time to get to know someone. Having a cousin who she can visit for a week over spring/fall break can help too. You're doing a good job. OP responds, I got help with finding a counselor that is really good for her. She has tons of abandonment issues starting from my dad, to mom, to me going off when I enlisted. Literally everybody she loves walked out on her at one point or another. Lofi Verte comments, "Don't beat yourself up. You could be still getting wasted every day and not giving a fuck about your little sister. You're doing the best you can, and it's seriously much more than many other people would do. Dwelling on past mistakes won't help you and your sister for the future. You've done well by getting rid of the psycho. Now move on. Have you thought about therapy for you both?" OP responds, "My sister is going to start seeing a child development counselor next week. She's married to my sister's math teacher's cousin." What a weird connection. "She agreed to help and see my sister pro bono until I change her medical insurance to a plan that her practice accepts. I'm not planning on seeing anybody myself for now. Maybe later, once things settle. I'm not sure I have time right now." Deleted user comments, "I'm so proud of you for handling this so well, and of your little sister. I strongly urge you to find your sister a therapist, private, subsidized, maybe something connected to her school, or a support group so she'll be able to talk to a professional about all this. Also, encourage her to talk to you about this. I also recommend you Google Toxic Parents PDF. It's a great book available online for free, and it might help you a lot to understand yourself and your sister and to help yourself and her. Also, I'd suggest you Google No More Mr. Nice Guy PDF. Another great book available online for free. Get a free consultation with a lawyer to determine what steps you must undertake to save your little sister from her mother or being put in a foster home. Best wishes." OP responds, "Thanks, I'll look up those books, but I did get a lawyer. I had to so that I could become her legal guardian. Court papers had to be filed. There were 3 court hearings, and then my mom had to sign off. It was a huge process where an investigator even came to my house to inspect it and interview me. The court appointed an attorney to represent my sister. A lot had to be done. I bribed my mom so I make her car payment still so she would sign off. This was my attorney's idea. Otherwise, I would have had to rat on my mom for drugs, use CPS, and my sister would have gone to a foster home temporarily before I could get her. Then my mom could fake a recovery and take her back. It would have been too much back and forth for my sister. So even though I'm still paying legal fees to my attorney and had to pay some court fees too, I keep a friendly relationship with my mom and give her money sometimes to keep her happy. I know she uses the money on drugs, but sometimes you have to swallow bad pills to get where you need to." Crazy Kitty 123 comments, "You are a very awesome brother. Thank you so much for saving your sister. If I may ask, how else was she being mean to her that you didn't know about? I know it would help other people in similar situations, especially those whose kids have step-parents who don't like them. Was there anything in retrospect you could say, yeah, I should have noticed that?" OP responds, "I would just give one piece of advice if anybody is in my situation. Pull your sister aside every single day and ask her what all happened that day. I came home from work late sometimes and would text my girlfriend to cook something for my sister. Now I find out that when my sister was hungry, she would go to the kitchen to make herself something, and my ex would turn her away and tell her snacking was not allowed till I came home so we could eat together. Then I would come home and she would tell me that she didn't cook anything because my sister told her she wasn't hungry. She would tell me this shit right in front of my sister. My sister would keep a lot to herself because she was afraid to make waves. So you have to talk to her daily and ask her what all happened during the time you're not home. There were other things that I would rather not even type, but all of it along the same line." Deleted user, "I know it may have taken you longer than you wish to help your sister, but the point is you did it. All your sister remembers is her calling you because there was trouble and you stepping in to help her. At your age, I would not have been financially or emotionally stable enough to do what you've done. I think you're an amazing person with a good head on your shoulders who obviously loves your sister very much. I'm happy to hear about your update. I'm amazed her father reacted that way because if I did what your ex did, my father would have lost all respect for me. Who knows what she's told him though. Good luck, and I wish you the best." OP responds, "Well, to be honest, I was not ready at all financially. I had 2 roommates and was still wasting my whole paycheck on drinking and partying. I saved $0. When my sister called me, it took me a while to save money to rent a house. Then I didn't have the money for the legal fees or becoming her legal guardian, so I had to finance a lot. I had a good job, and still, I was a total mess financially when she asked me to take her with me. So overnight, I had to go from wasting every dollar I made to total detail budgeting. I never knew how to do that. User Girl Sailor comments, maybe I've watched too many TV dramas, but what do you mean by bribing your mom to sign over custody? Couldn't she just say she was bribed and create a legal mess if she ever decided to take your sister back? OP responds, she could, but that would get her in the most trouble. I did everything I did with legal advice from an attorney. My mom doesn't want my sister back, so I don't know why she would go back on her word now. She likes her freedom to live with her boyfriend with no responsibility. She's happy as long as I give her $20 here and there whenever she calls, which is not often. I don't think I have anything to worry about there. She might be lying to me, but my mom is happy that my sister is doing better with me. Personal tinfoil hat theory, girlfriend didn't like the fact that the party ended for the little sister, and additionally, she probably didn't like the fact that she was sharing, dependent status with the little sister. The money that was being spent on the little sister could have been spent on her instead. Either way, OP 100% made the correct decision here, and she is honestly just the worst. You're beefing with an 11-year-old. Just have a conversation with your boyfriend, and if you really don't want to share a home with your boyfriend with his little sister, then find someone else. Buddy has other priorities now, and if they're not compatible with how you want to live, then don't try to make him give up on his family just so that way you can have the party back. Good God. Hey, welcome to the outro. Don't forget this whole thing is basically brought to you by GamerSupps. If you like caffeine, then I can't recommend GamerSupps enough. Use code OZ at checkout to support the channel. And I do actually use this product. It's replaced all other sources of caffeine for me because I feel good. It doesn't have any of that extra stuff that a pre-workout blend might have. It's with a couple of the extra things to make it so you don't crash as hard. It's good. I like it. Personally, if you really want a good flavor, try the Soda Pressing Pear or even the Dragon Fruit Punch. Those two are my personal favorites right now.